Thank you for coming. So today our practical lesson will be we identify also the landmarks on the skull. Okay.
Yeah.
In the skull is this one, right?
All right.
Okay. The base of the nasal bone, that's a cephalometric landmark called nasion. Okay, you go like that.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, cranial base, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we go to the, what is this? Orbitale. Yeah, this is the orbit. Orbitale is on the most inferior border, more inferior point of the orbit. Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that one, we go to, what's the next one? Somewhere here.
Yeah.
It's the sella turcica. Okay. What is the sella turcica? What is the function of that one?
I think it connects the pituitary gland.
Yeah. No, it's where the pituitary gland is seated, is located.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if it's somewhere in the middle of this one, all right?
Yeah.
Cranial base. So in order for us to see it, we have to, I won't open this one. Okay. Yes. The other side. Yeah. Now just pull it. Yeah. Okay. So can you point the sella turcica there?
Should be here.
Yes. That one. Okay. Sphenoid bone and then the sella turcica in the middle. That's where the pituitary gland is located. So it sits here.
Yeah.
It is well protected by bones.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you transpose this one, it would be somewhere here, right?
Yeah.
So let's mark that one over here, sella turcica. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the sella. This is the orbitale. This is the nasion. The next one, going to the back, is the
Orion.
Orion. Okay. Orion is where the
External acoustic meatus.
external
Acoustic meatus.
acoustic or auditory meatus.
Yeah.
It is on the top. The point of reference is on the top of the meatus. Okay, it's not in the middle. The point of reference of the sella, by the way, is in the middle
No.
of the sella.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
so you see middle of the sella, on the inferior border, lowest part of the orbit,
Yeah.
that's the orbitale, and the highest part of the external auditory meatus is the porion.
Orion. All right.
Okay, all right. Then after that one, we can go back to this one. All right. So we have the anterior nasal spine, right?
Yeah.
In the very front of the skull, of the face, is the anterior nasal spine. That one, yes?
All right.
It is the one that is protruding.
Yeah.
When you go on your nose, you can actually feel it.
Yeah.
You go inside your nostril and you push down in the middle. That's the anterior nasal spine. Okay, so it's the most anterior part of the maxilla. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, the most posterior part of the maxilla is posterior nasal spine. It's there. Okay, most posterior part. So it's somewhere here. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the most posterior part of, not the tooth, but the most posterior part of the maxilla.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. And then there's also on top of the maxilla. What is that one? That inverted tear shape. Okay? That is the pterygomaxillary fissure. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, pterygomaxillary fissure. You open this one. Okay. Pterygomaxillary fissure is the fissure in between the maxilla and pterygoid plate of the sphenoid.
Oh.
So it's a fissure.
Oh. All right.
It's a space. Okay? Fissure, space, is this one. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a space. That's a space here. Okay, so on the most posterior part of that one, if you take out this one, yeah, on the most upper part of that space,
Yeah.
that facial line, that's the pterygomaxillary fissure. Okay? All right. So we've identified the pterygomaxillary fissure.
Yes.
We've identified the orbital. We've identified notion. Okay. We go down on the anterior. We have the, what is this? Anterior nasal spine. Okay. Most anterior part
Of the maxilla.
of the maxilla. Okay. That's anterior nasal spine. Most posterior part of the maxilla,
Posterior nasal spine.
posterior nasal spine. Okay. And then the deepest part of the maxilla,
Point A.
point A. Yes.
So the point A doesn't have another. Does it have another name?
I think it's also called subspinale.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. We usually just call it point A.
Point A, all
Because at point A, there's point B.
Yeah.
Subspinale, supramental.
All
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sub is below. Okay.
Yeah.
Supra is up.
Yeah.
On the mandible,
Yeah.
we have the deepest point of the mandible is called
Point B.
point B. Okay. And then the most anterior part of the mandible is called
The pogonion.
pogonion. Okay. The most inferior or the lowest part of the mandible, anterior mandible, is called
Menton.
menton. Okay. Then the point in between the menton and the pogonion
Nathion.
is called nation. Okay. So when we go at the back, all right,
Yeah.
if we bisect this mandibular plane like this,
Yeah.
and then we put another line on the most posterior portion of the ramus
Yeah.
where they intersect, that is called
Gonion.
gonion. That's called gonion. Okay.
All right.
That one. So it's the angle
No.
of the mandible. Okay.
Yeah.
Then going up the posterior part of the ramus, on the most posterior and back portion where it intersects with the cranial base,
Yeah.
okay, that is called articulare. Okay, that's called articulare. Then going up on the most superior portion of the condyle is called condylion.
Condylion. All right.
Yes, condylion. Okay, that's condylion. Okay, so then you go down the coronoid notch. The coronoid, identify that one. Of course, you identify the first molar.
So this is a condylion. Condylion.
Condylion on the topmost
This is the
part of the articulare is the back portion of the upper condyle. Okay, where it coincides with the cranial base. The cranial base is here, condyle is here, so it should be here. Okay,
Yeah.
it's where they intersect. That's the point. Okay.